powerful, powerful stuff. You know, as we continue to grow, what happens, unfortunately, as we evolve, sometimes we bring with us the ignorance of our ancestors. We still use words like coincidence, and we still use words like luck. And that's just the ignorance of our ancestors. No such thing as a coincidence. Everything's doing. This universe is so well structured that it is an insult to say there's a coincidence. It's an insult to say there's luck. You know, I remember Donald Trump said something great. He said, you know, I noticed the harder I worked and the more tirelessly I dedicated myself to success, the luckier I got. And then, of course, he was joking because it isn't about luck. Remember what I said before. Your condition today is a direct reflection of your thoughts yesterday. You have to release your greatest self. Break free of the conditioned thoughts. Break free of the shackles of that victim mentality and release your greatest self. And when you do, this is the problem. When you do, oftentimes people release their greatest self. So, you know, they wake up in the morning and they say, I am ready. I'm ready to succeed. Today's not going to be like every other day. I listened to Steve's show, or I read some book, and I did something. Today's a new day, and I'm ready. And then by the end of the day, they're already back to who they were yesterday. And why is that? Because I want you to remember that's a part of building. Don't be attached to results. Don't be attached to results right away. Results aren't good. Be attached to your actions. Be committed to your actions, not the results, because when you commit yourself and attach yourself to results, you're basically gambling on something you don't have control over. When you say, oh, you know, I'm going to do this every day, and this is what's going to happen, you don't have control over that. It happens a lot in diets. It happens a lot in diets. People say, I'm going to diet every day, and after a few days, they lost, 6 pounds, and that means they say, well, that means after a few more, I'll be up to 12 pounds. But your biorhythms don't agree. And maybe you lose 6 pounds in the first week and a half a pound in the second week. And because you were attached to that result that you had just pulled out of nowhere, it discourages you. And you say, you know what, this doesn't work. And you go back to doing what you were doing. Understand that there's a process of building. You have to build. And when people, I like people to be realistic. I like to take a very realistic approach on success, on empowerment. You have to start and build first. You can do anything. You can succeed beyond measure. But you have to build it there. You know, people, I speak at churches, and I often hear from a lot of church people. And a lot of times they say, well, you know, Steve, Jesus says I can move mountains. And you absolutely can. But the reality of it right now is that you can't even get your kid to clean his room. So how about we stop trying to move mountains for a second and be a little bit more real and build to that. Let's start at something that's for you today. Build on something today. Then you can get to moving mountains. First, let's try and get to finishing your homework, or to getting to work on time. Let's start that. It's about building. It's absolutely about building. And understand that as you build, and you build with this knowledge that you are amazing, you are beautiful, and you are powerful beyond measure, as you start building with that knowledge, you're building on concrete, on bedrock. You're building on something powerful. You're not building on your ignorances. You're not building on your weaknesses. You're not building on your victim mentality. You're not building on sand. You're building on your strengths. You're building on your truths. And when you do build that way, and you are rebuilding yourself, add in time to just be, to listen to your internal clock, to reference your internal gauges. You know, every time you look somewhere, you whether you're in a car while it's traveling, or you're in an airplane and you're a pilot, you look at your gauges. Sometimes you don't know. You can't really tell how fast you're going in a car when you're going down the highway. And what do? You check your gauges. You don't look outward to see how fast you're going. You look in the car. And you check your gauges because your gauges have been calibrated to tell you what's going on. And that's what you have to do. It's so important that you learn this new habit of checking your gauges. This new habit of referencing and taking account and taking inventory of what's inside. Because as you think, so shall you be. You are a printout. Your life is a printout of your thoughts. Today, modern physicists will tell you that you are a printout of your thoughts. Do you know how powerful that is? For those of you who didn't read in the Bible, or maybe did read in the Bible, that as you think, so shall you be. For those of you who maybe read Hamlet and read that Shakespeare, when he wrote, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. For those of you who weren't convinced then, and maybe have a little more secular, scientific mind, modern physicists will tell you that your body is a printout of your thoughts. So what are you thinking? What are you building on right now? What are you truly focusing on right now? And I'll tell you, sometimes the truth is ugly, but here's the truth. What you do shows what you truly believe. You can say. You can talk and praise and praise and praise. And you could stand in the middle of your church, your synagogue, the middle of the street, and you can pray all day and say all day. But what you do shows what you truly believe. Are you living a life that is calling on abundance? Are you living a life that's calling on happiness? Or do you keep looking outward for the quick fix? Are you looking outward, playing the story of your life, acting like the character you're portraying yourself as? You gotta stop trying to be what you already are. You're amazing, you're beautiful, and powerful beyond measure. It's time to embrace that. It's time to celebrate your incarnation in the sense that you live it, not pretend it, not act it, but actually live it from the second you wake up to the second you go to sleep. Live in celebration and in honoring of the greatest gift ever given to you. You. Powerful beyond measure. Stop trying to be what you already are. When we get back, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about releasing your greatest self, about getting you to look inwards and sharing with you a powerful way to propel yourself to the greatest day. You're listening to Empowered Living, Life, the Truth, and Being Free. I'm your host, Steve Maraboli. For more information about A Better Today, our speeches, programs, seminars, or live event schedule, please visit abettertoday.com or stevemaraboli.com. We'll be right back.